mission.
While the CubeSats are prepared for flight, their ride, the Electron rocket, begins to take shape. Fully assembled, the Electron stands nearly 56 feet tall, a smaller rocket dedicated to launching small payloads. It's a three-stage carbon composite vehicle topped by a payload fairing to protect. It's a three-stage carbon composite vehicle topped by a payload fairing to protect the CubeSats during launch. The Electron's engines and avionics are manufactured here in the United States at Rocket Lab's facility in Huntington Beach, California. In fact, the company's Rutherford engine is the first ever oxygen kerosene rocket engine built using 3D printed main components. Then they're sent to Rocket Lab's facility in Auckland, New Zealand. Here, the company puts it to Rocket Lab's facility in Auckland, New Zealand. Here, the company puts its engines to the test before final integration. It's also where Rocket Lab manufactures the vehicle's stages and payload fairing. But until the rocket is assembled and tested in New Zealand, the CubeSats will wait in California. It will all come together when the spacecraft arrive from Huntington Beach just a few weeks before launch. CubeSail was built by the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign in CU Aerospace. It carries a 250-meter solar sail ribbon, technology that's being evaluated for use on future spacecraft, such as scientific missions to interstellar space.
And CubeSail is going to be doing a technology demonstration of the deployment technique as a stepping stone towards even larger missions we have planned on the road, like iSail and UltraSail.
The ISX CubeSat, or Ionospheric Scintillation Explorer, is a collaboration between SRI International and Polysat at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, California. ISX is designed to take a closer look at plasma fluctuations in the upper atmosphere and learn more about how they affect radio communications with satellites. Up next is Ceres, the CubeSat Compact Radiation Belt Explorer. It was developed by NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center in Greenbelt, Maryland. Ceres will fly into Earth's Van Allen radiation belts to study the high-energy particles streaming toward the Earth from the radiation belts, to study the high-energy particles streaming toward the Earth from the Sun, and learn more about how electrons in the radiation belts are energized and lost.
CubeSats go into the clean room and they do their standalone processing. So that's any sort of checkouts, charging. Basically, they're getting ready to get into that final package, the dispenser. That's the piece of hardware that's actually going to launch them out into space off of the rocket.
November 2018. We'll have to make one more journey on Earth. It takes a caravan of trucks about 8 hours to make the 575-kilometer journey from Auckland to Rocket Lab's Launch Complex 1 at Mahia Peninsula on the island's east coast. But this remote launch site is worth the drive.
So from one single launch site, we can launch all the way to 39 degrees inclination, that's due east, all the way up to sun synchronous, which is about 98 degrees depending on the altitude.
On the ground at the Mahia Launch Complex, the rocket's stages are carefully brought together and inspected to ensure everything is perfect. The CubeSats are installed on the Electron payload plate, the interface between the rocket and the satellites. Then Alana 19 is encapsulated inside the Electron rocket's payload fairing, where the CubeSats will stay until they're in space. The entire rocket is manually rolled out to the launch pad for but dangerously strong winds keep the Electron on the ground for 4 more days. Their fortunes change on December 16th, when the winds aloft finally go green.
5, 4, 3, 2.
The Electron rocket's 9 Rutherford engines ignite, and history is made. The Electron rocket's 9 Rutherford engines ignite, and history is made. Less than an hour into the flight, the Ilana 19 CubeSats are released. Instead of hitching an hour into the flight, the Ilana 19 CubeSats are released. Instead of hitching a ride, these small spacecraft have a dedicated ride that can deploy each one to just the right orbit for maximum science. Ilana gives students and teachers a low-cost pathway to space to test new technologies, make new discoveries, and create new connections to each other and the future. Small satellites, big dreams, and even bigger potential for small satellites, big dreams, and even bigger potential for future CubeSats needing a venture-class ride into space. To launch with Ilana, visit nasa.gov/Ilana.
Wherever, however, whenever,